Tonight is a special night. We, our family, is going to enjoy steak cooked on the grill. As I record this, it is mid-afternoon, so the process of preparation has already begun. Step one in a great cookout on the grill is selecting a good cut of meat. Pretty, isn't it? You ever gone to the meat counter at the grocery store and said something like, or perhaps heard someone else say, "Wow, those are some pretty steaks"? Well, before we get started on how to have a successful steak grill out, I think we should pause for a moment and think about those pretty steaks that we see at the grocery store. We are seeing the end result of a process that was actually quite gory and quite horrifying. You see, the steak is a nutrient. It's fuel for our bodies. Without food, we would die. But for us to eat that steak, an innocent cow was slaughtered. Would you had seen that, you might not say, "Oh, those are pretty steaks." Well, what you could do is when you light the grill, you could just slap the steak on there, couldn't you? Heat it up, cook it, and it would be nutritious. It would be fuel for one's body, and you would eat and enjoy it somewhat. But if you really want to do it right, what you want to really do is marinate the steak. Now, marination is not just, throwing the steak on the grill. It's not just sprinkling a little something on it. It's not even just dunking it in the marinade. Marinating is a process of soaking the meat that draws in the flavors and the seasonings from the marinade. Marinade, that's spelled A-D-E. Marinade is the liquid. Marinate is the process. So I have prepared my secret marinade. Okay. Now, you know what a lot of people do? They will take their marinade bowl and they will then immerse the meat in the marinade bowl like this. Okay. Take my tongs so I won't actually touch the food with my nasty fingers. And so I gave the marinade a final whisk. And you can immerse the steak in the marinade. Now, if I do that much more, you won't see it. Okay? Now, the problem with this is you got to have a lot of marinade sauce, and you're just turning it in there. And then when you put this in the refrigerator to marinate, what happens is the meat, the marinade sauce falls down to the bottom, so the meat on the top. So you find yourself constantly turning it. And you have to use a lot of sauce. Well, actually, there is a better way to do it. It is a secret to the best of my knowledge. I know very few people that have mastered this particular technique. Folks, this is a Ziploc bag. I really prefer the kind that have the zip, the little zipper across the top, but I don't have any right now. And so what I did, a couple of little secrets. One, warm the marinade sauce. Warm it. And there's a reason for that. At the molecular level, what happens is the warm liquid, when you marinate it, cools down. And it makes the steak, which is not warm, which is cold, it makes the steak like a sponge. And the steak draws in the essence. So I'm going to put a couple of pieces of steak, or maybe even 3. I'll put 3, what the heck. I'm going to put 3 pieces of steak in my Ziploc bag. Got it? Okay. And then I give my marinade a final little whisk to make it real good. Okay? Get it all mixed up good. And then what you do is pour the marinade liquid into the bag like thus. And it's kind of warm. I can feel it. All right, here's the magic secret, folks. So you see that? All right, you got it. You see the sauce. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to partially close. I'm going to almost zip it airtight. But before I finally get that last little bit, I'm going to press all of the air out of it, being careful not to let the marinade sauce squirt out. Okay, now, okay. Folks, there we have a vacuum sealed container where just a little bit of that sauce goes a long way. I've got 3 pieces of steak, 3 cuts of steak in here. And now you can lay it flat in the refrigerator, and the warm sauce, the marinade sauce, as it cools down, will literally be drawn into that steak. It soaks it up like a sponge. So several hours from now, I will light the grill and I will place the marinated steak on there for a delicious meal for myself and my family to enjoy. So that is the secret of how to marinate stuff. Now you may want to ask, well, what is the secret to the marinade sauce itself? Folks, that's classified. But I will give you just a peek into some of the ingredients used. They are behind me. That's all you get. As Christians, we need to understand that the salvation that we enjoy came at the price of Jesus dying, just as the steak came at the price of a cow dying. And we can take our Christianity and throw it on the grill and cook it. We can sprinkle it once with a little stuff. We can even dunk it and immerse it. But to enjoy the fullness of the Christian steak, we need to marinate. We need to immerse ourselves in and soak up and draw into ourselves and into our heart the Holy Spirit and the blood of Christ. Well, I'm going to go enjoy some steak. Thank you for sharing your time with us today.